All right, welcome back to Madvillainy, Geek Culture, and more. Going to be reviewing Hawkeye, the Disney Plus series Hawkeye, episode 3. All right, this episode, I liked the episode. It was too short. It left on a cliffhanger. Let's see it. So what I'm getting so far is, and also spoilers obviously, but what I'm getting so far is from what I'm hearing is the ratings for the show drop. Not this episode, but the rating for this show, the ratings have dropped significantly. I think just, before the third episode. So the first 2 episodes. And it's generally because Kate Bishop is more of a character in this show than Hawkeye is, than its namesake, right? Anyway, well, let's get into this episode. The episode starts off with, the episode starts off with a young Maya Lopez in 2007. She was looked like she was in elementary school, and she was in the classroom, and she was going to a regular school. Maya Lopez she was born deaf. As far as I know, she was born deaf, and she's going to a regular school and having to deal with being probably not too many other deaf children in that school. She might be the only one, who knows. And then it goes to a scene with her father. Her father's talking to her about being the only, or actually Maya is asking her father about sending her to a deaf only school, or a school for deaf children. And he couldn't send her there. But then after that it cuts to she's older. The next scene, she's still young. She's probably, I don't know, 8 or 9, maybe 10, and she's in martial arts class, and she took out a child that was almost twice her size at that point. And also we see that she has a false leg. I think it's her right foot, like kind of a little above the ankle down. It's a false foot. I don't know how she lost that part of her leg, that lower part, but it does give her an advantage when she's when she's kicking somebody. I don't know if it's an advantage or not. It may not be, but anyway, she can't possibly feel it if it's false. And and while she was in her father was talking to her after she won that. I think they were just in practice. It wasn't a tournament, but he said that her uncle will pick her up after practice, and we don't see him. It doesn't explicitly show Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, but you see this big ham of a hand, and I think he was in a white suit. Like it kind of shoots it at the back angle, and you see this big old hand. It's the Kingpin. Doesn't show his face, but it's him. And as far as I know, in the comics, we're gonna see later that. So in the comics, Kingpin, in the comics it shows that, or it tells that her father was. I may be getting this totally wrong because I haven't read the comic, but it shows that her father was, or the Kingpin tells her that her father was murked by Daredevil. But we're going to see in this episode that it's completely changed. It shows that, she's much older. Like, he tells her as a child that Daredevil kills her father, but in this episode we'll see that it's totally changed. It shows Ronin killing her father, and she's a much older person. She's probably in her 20s. She's an adult at this point. So the story's completely changed. And I was hoping to see that the story would be like, I was hoping we'd see that in a Daredevil show, or even in, there's a Echo spinoff show. I was hoping we would see that story of Kingpin telling her that that Daredevil murked her father. But in this episode, we have it leaves off where, kind of in the second episode, where Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are being held hostage by the tracksuit mafia, and kind of working on an escape. And this is pretty much the best part of the episode because it has the most action. They're sitting in the little toy horses. I don't know what they're called, like the carousel horse. Not even the carousel horse, it's like the Rocky horse. And Hawkeye, they untie his hands and then they retie him in the back, and he's able to escape. And then, there's action. He's escaping. He's still in. Kate Bishop still captured. So he's working on that. Finds his arrows. Action. And they end up escaping. Now, kind of in the middle of that, we have Kazi. I think he's called the Clown. So it would be him, this guy. he's kind of translating for Echo, and I don't know exactly their relationship between Kazi and Echo, but it seems to be pretty close. But yeah, he communicates with her in sign language. Yeah, I'd like to see like more of that dynamic between him and her. Yeah, so Hawkeye and Kate Bishop escape in a car, like right outside the warehouse. They pass up a really nice, I forget what it was, like a 72, I don't know, it was a classic muscle car. I don't know if it was a 72 Camaro or something like that. I didn't quite remember, but it was a sweet ride. But they pass it up because he didn't want to smash it. And then so he gets another car, finds another car. It's like an old Lincoln. I mean, to me that was a nice car too, but it wasn't as good as the muscle car. And they, they're in a car chase, and Hawkeye, he has his arrows. Hawkeye wanted Kate Bishop to drive so he could shoot, but Kate Bishop didn't even really know how to drive. Just living in New York, most people don't drive, and so she's having to shoot, and she's shooting his trick arrows, and it was pretty cool. The arrows he had one that was like, he shot it, and there was, when it hits the target, it's like this purple goo that spreads, and she shot it on one of the windshields. And then there was a plunger arrow, and she shot that. And the first time she shot it, all it did was, hit a guy, boom, dropped off. And then Hawkeye went to go retrieve it because he figured he's gonna need that arrow. And it ended up, they did, and it was in good, it was in good use. Became handy to use, and you'll see in the episode. But yeah, that whole few scenes, the action scenes, those were good. So yeah, like I said, hopefully we also get, there are some rumors that we'll get Daredevil in, I don't know if it'll be a Disney Plus show or Hulu show, and I'm thinking it'll be Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Hopefully we get this Daredevil and not this Daredevil. But I did actually like this Daredevil. Was it 2003? I liked it. I mean, the story could have used some work, but it was good. And Michael Duncan Green, he was a great Kingpin. Still my Kingpin. Yeah, and hopefully we'll get more of the dynamic between Daredevil and Echo. I don't know though, because they as they showed in this episode 3 of Hawkeye, that the dynamic is completely different, because she saw who killed her father. But well, she didn't see. She. Now we still might get something. It was because she didn't see who killed the father. She just knows it's the Ronin, and that's who she's going after. She's not like so in this episode. She's not 100% sure. It doesn't seem like that Hawkeye was the Ronin, but she has a pretty good idea. So toward the end of the very last scene, we get Jacques Duquesne. But I think in the comics it's Jacques, but in the series, Hawkeye series, it's Jack. And because Hawkeye kind of hears something and he just starts walking. Because they end up back in Kate Bishop's mother's penthouse. They kind of break in. They're looking for some evidence. Well, Kate Bishop's looking for evidence in her database of her mother's security company from a computer, and Hawkeye hears something, and he's just walking through the penthouse checking it out, and then you see the swordsman. Oh yeah, and he also has the Ronin sword. The swordsman has the Ronin sword. So that's the last scene of the episode. And you get the credits. And oh yeah. That Kate Bishop and Hawkeye were in a diner in one scene, and she kind of drew out this costume, and Clint Barton was like, "Nah, we ain't doing this." So we'll see what happens in the later episodes. Like I said, this show, from what I'm hearing, it's got a significant drop in ratings. It's because it's more about Kate Bishop than Hawkeye, and it's woke. I'm just enjoying it, and yeah, I certainly see where they're coming from in the episode or in this show. But I mean, there's only 3 episodes left. We'll see what happens. There's only 3 episodes left. I'll check it out. It's gonna be let's see, yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home is should be pretty much out by then, or it will be out. I think it opens December 16th, 17th. I think officially the 17th, but you'll be able to see it Thursday before. Yeah, they had some ticket crashes, online crashes, people trying to buy tickets. I think I got a ticket, but I'm not seeing it until a week after. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, Madvillains. Y'all take care, and we'll see you in the next one.